Come here, son, nephew, young man. Let me holler at you. A few months ago, or really a few years ago, I found out what I thought. Well, no, not what I thought. This is an excellent doggone knife. This is a Kershaw Blur. I got another one. I'm going to do a video where I'm going to send this one back to get it sharpened. Maybe see if they'll refinish it. They may not. And then I have another one where I broke the blade. I want to see what their customer service is like. But anyway, this fella here, shout out to old Joe X. This is a Cold Steel SR1 Light. Cold Steel redefined what I thought of knives. It redefined what a quote unquote good knife was. It took the word knife, especially in the folding capacity. What is this on here? I've been keeping this one in a go bag, in an unfinished go bag. Go figure. Anyway, it's triad lock. Even though this isn't the best steel, this is I think this is HCR 13 MOV. Try not to knock this camera out of place. I can't see it from there behind the camera. It's HCR 14 MOV. But what I found, I kept running into knives that were just awesome with one flaw that I just, left me desiring more. So for example, with this one, I love this knife, but it stays in the go bag because the clip is entirely too tight. Now I can keep it in my pocket, but that's a little bit inconvenient. And there's better. I just figured there was better out there. And there is, to a degree, for what this thing is though. Solid, darn near indestructible, and Joe X showed us that. However, he also showed us the same thing with the Cold Steel Recon 1, and I love this knife. The clip is much different. It works well. It doesn't have the D10 is tight on it, and yes, you can do one-handed operation with it, but where it struggles for me, if I have my mechanics work gloves on and it's cold outside, this G10 is a little bit slippery. Excellent knife. It does not deploy, for example, as easy as what we're here to talk about today. Benchmade is like, I see why they charge what they charge. I see why they even call their company what they call it. These knives open. This one glides, if that makes sense. But I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. When I have my gloves on or when I'm reaching for this knife, sometimes it's just hard to get out of my pocket. I need to get one of those ring attachments for it. But in the meantime, I still have been using this as my yard knife, but I did get on a bit of a journey, as some knife enthusiasts may call it. This was my second high-end knife. I want to say this cost about $180. And shout out to knifeworks.com. I got this knife for a good price, and I got it like in a couple of days. But here's the deal. I actually cut myself open in this knife once. I wear an extra large or large glove. If push comes to shove and I need to use the thumb hole, I don't feel comfortable having to open this knife quickly if push ever came to shove, unless it's with the middle finger opening. And sorry, I'm behind this camera. That's awkward. I don't know if you've ever tried that before. Now, as far as cool factor, this is my favorite knife. Somewhere between him and the Recon 1. And I need to get a Recon 1 Tanto partially serrated. That's going to be one big problem with all of these up here other than my Kershaw is that there's no serrations. I have learned over again that I like serrations, but this knife feels a little bit flimsy. Believe it or not, the persistence actually feels more solid to me than the Spyderco PM2. Just a personal preference, but I like it. But there are some tasks that I feel this knife isn't rugged enough for me. So for me, this is a bit of a pocket jewelry type item. This may have shut the whole thing down had I known earlier that the ZT and the Kershaw are from the same people, same designer, Ken Onion. They don't have the serrated version of this anymore. If they had the serrated version of this ZT 0350, I may have never gotten to some of the other knives on the table. I like this one too. It got rained on actually and didn't corrode. I thought that was very impressive. Great form factor for me. I love jimping. Believe it or not, this knife is smaller than what it really looks like. What it looks like on camera, rather. Let's see. So, can you see those? We're talking like 1.5 inches difference in length. It is pretty wide, but it's actually short in stature. But with the lack of serrations, it leaves a little bit to be desired for me. Now, this is one that I haven't talked about much yet. If you're on a budget, this Ephraim Grow 913, very smooth action. It came sharp out of the box. This is a unique type of texture, but the form factor, the jimping here on the flipper, and you can easily deploy this with the thumb stud or with the flipper. It is a big knife. You know, I like big knives. The little cute little EDC fellas like this little dude here, it's just not my thing. Matter of fact, while I'm talking, got something else to show y'all. But my biggest problem with this Ephraim Grow 913 is it has that clip wiggle, which is that the biggest deal? No, but this will probably be my gentleman knife for when I got my black watch and my black boots on. I also have a Civivi Praxis with the Cuberta wood handle that I use as a gentleman knife as well. But because of the wiggling clip and the fact that, yes, this is unique to hold on to, and once you get it deployed, you can get a good positive grip on it. There's jimping there also. And I don't know if that's quite a tanto point. It's like a tanto point, but it's also rounded too. So I guess it's a tanto or spanto maybe. You tell me in the comments if I'm wrong. But anyhow, because of that clip issue, it's not quite perfection for all you Glock folks out there. I used to be a Glock guy before my great boating accident where I lost all the couple of weapons I did have. I never even had that many to begin with. But God bless you people who support the Second Amendment. I stand with you. I just don't have any guns. I lost all mine in the boating accident. So, Mr. Biden, if you hear me, I don't have any guns. Don't worry about me when you decide you're going to round them all up. Anyhow, this is just too small. It just never even... this is a letter opener for me at this point. Try one more full-size knife. And I'm going to be honest with you. At first, I just bought this because I thought it was funny. But you know what? I did another video where I say, to me, this one is it's a cross between the, what's that guy that everybody hates? Medford Praetorian and the Spyderco, doggone it. That is the one that was designed specifically for self-defense. The name escapes me right now because once I saw this, I kind of erase the spider coat from my mind. Anyhow, I did a video on that one as well. This is awesome, by the way. When I did the video on this one, I also put some links to some videos that just kind of, or a video in particular that made me go ahead and pull the trigger on this knife. And there's also a pin that comes with it where you can darn near make this like a fixed blade if you're doing some heavy duty cutting or whatever the case may be. But without the serrations, this still leaves some to be desired. So I went ahead and took the plunge and I got myself a Benchmade Adamas. I wish you could feel the difference in the way this knife deploys. Now, I looked at this initially, but it failed in some hard, I mean, probably absurd use testing that really, it's stuff I'm not going to do. But I did see the Omega springs in this axis lock fail with some batoning, but I ain't going to be batoning wood. If I ever have to baton wood, rather, I'll be using, I got a Glock knife that I need to put on video one day. I actually do have a Glock fixed blade. I think it's a Glock 81 or 83 model. It's the one with the serrations. It's the desert tan color. And that's a great knife. I used to take that one hunting a lot. But this fella here, the jimping, and it's all the jimping is in the right places of contact that I need. The thumb, your index finger. When I'm pulling this knife out of my pocket, even with the glove on, for some odd reason, this is just positioned well where it's easy to get out. The pocket clip isn't too tight, so it's just enough to get it in your pocket with the clip and clip onto your pocket or wherever, and then take off. I'm not going to say easily, but it's secure. It's secure enough, but not too tight. I actually had to use that knife, and it proved itself to me on this particular day when I had to put it through its paces. But I had to do some prying with it, and I chipped the blade. So I got to find out about the Life Sharp program as well. I got to give it a try. Why not? If you're paying that much for a knife, that's part of the reason I chose to go ahead and pay that much, because why not? I mean, if they guarantee their product like that and they're willing to back it to where they say if you send it to them, most folks on the internet who I have watched their reviews of that particular knife, they say they didn't have to pay a dime. It got sharpened, it got oiled, it got tuned up a little bit, and they were very happy with their purchase. So on that particular day, when I used that knife, it served me well. The one-handed operation helped in 20-degree weather. It came with a care manual and a box, a sheath, which, and if you notice that's a black sheath, then you probably understand what's about to happen. Because it came with the brown one, actually. I think it's on this table somewhere, because I don't plan on using it. Yeah, here's the brown one right here. Anyway, this knife had went through cardboard, it went through plastic, it went through some other junk, and the CPM Crewwear stayed razor sharp and hair splitting sharp. Everything I could want in a knife, I've pretty much found it. No slippage when I'm trying to take it out of my pocket. Easy to access. Is it the same as the Triad lock? Is it going to give me that type of strength? No. This is probably still going to be my security duty knife when I'm helping out at the church. Simply because if it ever came down to a last-ditch effort, and that's got to tame a two-legged creature, because I have nothing else to tame a two-legged creature with, I suppose that's what I'll go for. But in the meantime, I sent this knife back on the Life Sharp program, and it was gone for 10 days. And that's when I realized, when I carried all of these knives, Every day I was like, man, I wish I had my Benchmade Adamas. The ease of use, the form factor, the super steel, the jimping in the right places. Even these holes help when you're trying to switch your grip around. And they also, if you're changing your grip, they provide extra points of maybe contact isn't the word, more like extra points where you can kind of anchor your fingers in. So like, for example, if you use the thumb ramp, for me, naturally, my pinky ends up here and it gives me a little more of a secure grip. So the only gripe I had with Benchmade was, okay, because I did try to sharpen this knife myself to get that chip out. I could not do it or get it razor sharp. So I had to send that knife off. It was gone about 10 days and I missed it dearly. And I learned, okay, that is the knife that I prefer to have at my side, because I know if push comes to shove, it is going to perform. So what do? If you prefer a knife, but the day is going to come when you got to get it sharpened, and it seems to be best that you take it elsewhere or send it to the manufacturer to get it sharpened. So here's what I did. I told myself, if that knife, if I sent it to Benchmade in the condition that it was in, because it had a nice chip in it, and you could tell I was doing some junk I wasn't supposed to with it. They didn't ask me any questions. They sent it right back, sharpened, free of charge. And I told myself, if this knife of that quality has a company that's going to stand by its product like that, and I need that knife or that quality while it's gone, well, doggone it, I just went ahead and got myself another one. And this one came out much more smooth out of the box than the other one did. This one actually had a break-in period. This one is buttery smooth right now. So for the blue collar work I do, which is in a dangerous area, I want to see how much material I had to take off of this brown one, desert tan, excuse me. I wonder if you can see how different the blades are, because I lost a little material. I can see it, but actually it's not as bad as I thought it was. Maybe a couple of millimeters. Let's see if you can see them side by side. If you look at the black one, there's a little bit more material there. I ended up losing some here just because of, like I said, the situation I was put in with my vehicle and trying to get my friend off the side of the road. But it ain't that bad. This one feels heavier for some reason. It almost feels maybe an ounce or two heavier than this one. Go figure. Let's see. Is it as sharp as the other one was? Yep. Can you see the hair pushing back? I'm going to put a little bit of oil on it just in case. This is actually a gray colored blade, a gray Cerakote rather than a black Cerakote. But look, when the chips are down, I want my Adamas, or I want an Adamas. So I'm going to keep both of these if I've got my black work boots on, because I have to keep a combination of looking professional while I'm doing my blue collar work, while, you know, still needing my tools. So I'm going to keep them both. And if one happens to go down or get dull or get chipped or get broken, and I got to send it off, I still got my other Benchmade Adamas. And at this point, I think it might be time to try some other Benchmade products too. I don't think there's anything that I'm leaving out as far as why I like this knife. Let's see, jimping. Talked about it being corrosion resistant. Like I said, I wear a large and extra large glove. Either one could work. I prefer large. It's a little bit, you know, gives me a little bit more dexterity. You can switch the clips around. I will say this. It doesn't, you see how I can still mess up the one-handed deployment on this one because of the camera? I think that might speak to how well how smooth the one-hand deployment is with the Adamas. These are beautiful. I like them. That's just what I need for, everybody's needs are going to vary. Some people like this fella. There's one guy who swears up and down this is the best knife in the world, and he might not be wrong per se. It still does not take the place of this fella here. If I'm just in dire straits, when I go in that go bag, I don't even care. If I got to depend on my life and survival, in that case, I want the triad lock instead of the axis lock. But we're talking about a doomsday type situation where, then I'm actually trying to make a fire in baton wood and make some type of structure or something. Okay, in that particular situation, yeah, I want this fella. If I ever think I need to stab, and yeah, I said the S word, but look, I'll go ahead and put it out there. I volunteered to do security at that church. If I got to tame a two-legged creature and get rid of a threat, they may have some Kevlar on or something like that. They may not. Power tool may run dry. I'm still a public educator. I was advised to not talk about the power tools too much. This is still going to have a place in my rotation. It's just a badass knife. Point blank, period. You can't just get rid of a knife like this. You can't just totally shelve it. But some of these fellas are going to be kind of sort of pocket jewelry. Love it. But probably, even though it's got all the serious capabilities in the world, pocket jewelry. I just like it. Hey, I just like it. Even this one, $30, D2 steel, smooth as butter. Hey, I just like it. But all around, do it all. And this may even, maybe, might replace my Kershaw Blurs, my yard knife. However, like I said, I do want a Recon 1 in the Tanto point with a partial serration. That may actually be my yard knife too. Who knows? There's still other knives that I want. And I'm backed up on reviews. I need to review this one. I don't think I need to review that one. There's too many of those out there. I have another Ethan Grow. I think I got some other stuff in there. But as far as the knife that I need to mostly do it all for me, right now, the Benchmade Adamas is it. I know this isn't a dedicated knife channel, but if you think there's somebody you might want to share the video with, you surely can. Hit the like button, leave any comments. If there's anything I left out or anything you want to teach me, let me know. And as always, never lose the will to win, never lose the will to survive.